Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
Well, the Halos were able to snap their three-game losing streak, winning Game 1 against the Kansas City Royals last night. So far, they've won 4 straight against the Royals. Tonight, it is Game 2 from Kauffman Stadium. We welcome you inside this beautiful ballpark and back to Angels Baseball on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. Now, there is some excitement in the air as far as the Angels are concerned. Not because they won last night. Now, obviously, that's very nice. But Tyler Skaggs, it's been a couple of years for him since having Tommy John surgery. It's good to see him back in the big league.
Yeah, Victor, even seeing him yesterday, the excitement on his face and excitement we have to be able to see Tyler Skaggs back on the mound for the Halos. We threw the ball exceptionally well when you think about it. In spring training, thought he was going to be back a little bit sooner. Was derailed a little bit. 726 days in between his starts for him. He was very good that last start, went 4 2/3 of hitless baseball. He's been excellent of late down in AAA. 1.21 ERA, 43 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's made a little alteration in his delivery. Very good curveball he has. Changeup's been solid, but his fastball velocity, very good. 90 to 94 with very, very good mechanics right now.
Hopefully he recognizes some of his teammates. And on the defensive side, Andrelton Simmons, new to the Angels this year. He's made some spectacular plays. We'll talk about Andrelton when we return.
This telecast of Angels baseball on Fox Sports West is brought to you by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By Jack in the Box, the Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack is back. Taste it before it's gone. By your Southern California Toyota dealers. By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by the Jeep Renegade. Find your inner Renegade and reach your highest potential with an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon.
That mentioned going to break that Andrelton Simmons has flashed the leather all season long, and he's done it already in game 1 of this series.
Yeah, we're going to show you, Victor, exactly what we're talking about as far as the fundamentals of that shortstop position. Our tools of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. This is exactly what you want to do as a shortstop. A ground ball at you, don't feel to the side, get in front, get that knee down, knowing you still have the arm strength to be able to throw out the runner at first. And then the in-the-neighborhood play, called a lot this year. Make sure you're making contact with that base before trying to complete a double play. Does that as well as anybody in the game. And this is the thing that separates him from every other shortstop. The range and the arm strength that Simmons has with a perfect throw across the diamond. He made some unbelievable plays here last night.
Stepping away once again, getting you ready for game number 2. When we return, we'll look back on a royal blast. Game set. Gooby, remember a couple of years ago, Mike Trout had a big home run against Jason Vargas.
One of the longest home runs I've ever seen in this ballpark, and I gave up a few and saw a few. Let's go back to June 27, 2014 from Mike Trout against Jason Vargas. The pitch out over the plate, and he absolutely tattooed that baseball. It is swimming with the fishes up there in the second level to dead center field. One of the longest home runs ever hit in this ballpark. Mike Trout, tremendous, tremendous power.
Ball likes to carry here in this ballpark when it is warm. It's another warm one tonight, and we're just about ready for game number 2. Sit back and relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. good baseball against the Kansas City Royals and trying to pick up a series win before returning home. They've got a 7-game homestand kicking off on Thursday night with the Boston Red Sox in town at the Big A for a 4-game series. Tonight, of course, it's all about Tyler Skaggs. But as the Royals have taken the field, we'll check out Mike Socha's starting lineup for the Angels. And it's very similar to what we've seen of late, although a couple little changes. With Escobar leading things off at third, Calhoun in right, Trout at center. Albert will actually get started first base today. Daniel Nava will DH. Hamilton Simmons is short. Ji-Man Choi in left. Carlos Perez behind the plate. And it's Johnny Giavotella batting ninth and playing second base. They're taking on a 30-year-old right-hander, North Texas native by the name of Dylan G.
Dylan G, fastball is going to be 88 to 92. He'll throw a slider, curveball, and a changeup. 3-3 marks so far this year. My go-tos to be successful against G. Look to the middle. Don't try to pull his pitches. And Fountains for fun. He has given up 11 home runs in 62 and a third innings pitch, averaging 1.6 home runs per 9 innings pitched. So he will give up the long ball, try to get a mistake, get up there in those fountains.
Check out the Royals defensively on this beautiful night for baseball. Gordon, Orlando, Eibner in the outfield from left to right. The infield with Cuthbert, Escobar. Mondesi just called up and activated today. He's making his major league debut in a regular season game tonight at second base. Hosmer at first and Perez behind the plate.
And Escobar at shortstop. A very, very talented shortstop. 2015 Gold Glove winner. That position, the first Kansas City shortstop ever to win a Gold Glove. He's got tremendous range, as does Simmons, and very strong throwing arm also.
Halos coming to this one 13.5 back in the West with a 44-55 record. Kansas City 8.5 back in the Central are 48-50 on the year. And they have been really inconsistent of late. And obviously they're missing a couple of pieces in Mike Moustakas and Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo Cain out on a rehab assignment today. We saw him running here yesterday, and he should be available fairly soon. But the starting pitching has been shaky for Ned Yost. The bullpen has been pretty good for him. Let's see what they have the next couple of months after the Angels leave town tomorrow night. We're ready for baseball. Escobar ready to lead things off. G's first one tonight is ripped to left, the base hit, high fastball. The Angels get that leadoff man on board to start the first.
And why would you not try to swing at the first pitch against G? His batting average against him on that 0-0 pitch put in play, 480 batting average, 12 for 25. His fastball drifts back over the plate, and Escobar right in position to line that one into left field for a single to start off the game.
Halos, as you recall, scored 4 runs against Ian Kennedy last night. They take an early lead and never look back. Here's Cole, 0 for 3 last night. Hitting .281, 10 home runs, 50 runs batted in. Swings at the first one, fouls it back. Dylan G pitching in his 20th game, 6th start of the season. 3-3 mark, a 4.19 ERA. Signed in the offseason as a free agent. Finished the year last season at AAA with the New York Mets. That was the team that originally drafted him in the 21st round back in '07. This one shot down the left field line, fair ball, headed toward the corner. Gordon with a good arm plays the double carom as the ball hangs up. Escobar keeps on running, and it's an RBI double for Cole, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead.
And you talk about a perfect swing from Cole Calhoun. Let that baseball travel deep and lines it right to left field. You don't see that often with a man on first be able to score on anything hit the left field, but that baseball is kind of hovered right around that padding by the bullpen and allowed Ron Renicky to send Escobar all the way home from first base with the first run of the game.
Double for Cole, his 17th of the year, picks up his 51st run batted in. And Trout will bow with a man in scoring position. Mike last night 0 for 2, had 3 walks in the game. We'll look at a strike. First double for Cole since July 15th, just his second extra base hit since July 7th.
1 ball, 1 strike. Single by Escobar, double by Calhoun.
Mike Trout with a slightly more open stance here.
Takes inside. A 2 ball, 1 strike count. He's a guy that really haven't seen a whole lot of tinker with his swing, and why would you when you're a perennial MVP candidate?
But it seems like a little more open. He's been pitched inside a lot on this road trip.
Caught the outside corner. 2-2. Paul Nard, by the way, calling the balls and strikes. Phil Cuzzy, the crew chief, is at first. Dan Bellino at second. Adam Hamari, who was behind the plate last night, is over at third tonight. 1-0 Angels. Back-to-back hits. Breaking pitch, and that's rolled foul.
Trout always good on breaking balls. 347 batting average on breaking balls this season, second best in the majors. Even though that was a very good one, still able to foul that one off. See those numbers as far as ranks in the majors on breaking balls. Also very good on all speed, which is change up, 312 batting average.
Odyssey shading toward the middle, trying to keep Calhoun close to the base. 2-2. Up and in. Full count. Trout made a couple of loud outs last night to deep right field. And tonight, a little bit more of a breeze blowing in from right. Kind of a breezy day. It's entire day in Kansas City. Another warm one. Payoff pitch, and that is off the plate, ball 4.
Another walk for Trout.
.85 degrees and very muggy here in Kansas City at first pitch.
He tried to bring that fastball back, started away, tried to catch the corner, that 2-seam fastball. A lot of times you'll see a pitcher, right-handed pitcher, will throw that to a left-handed batter.
First and second, nobody out, and Albert up. Pujols 3 for 5 last night with 4 runs batted in. Take a strike. Albert has had 4 games this year in which he's driven in 4 or more runs. Season high 6 RBIs, was on the 19th against Texas at home.
So far, the first 2 pitches, a fastball away, catching the outside corner, breaking ball away. Albert did a real good job as far as using the whole field last night to pick up those 4 RBIs. A couple hits going the other way, and one right back up the middle.
That's lifted in the air, shallow left field. Gordon has to come in on it. 1 out.
Stayed away again, and Albert just out in front of that one.
Nava DHing. Hitting .239 with a home run and 13 runs batted in. That is lifted out toward left center field. Not very deep. Orlando has to come in on it. 2 down.
Well, you certainly don't want to miss an opportunity to add on here if you can, especially with a leadoff single and then a double scoring. Escobar on that great swing from Cole Calhoun, a walk by Trout. Simmons has been very good of late, batting average now up to .281 this season.
.21 RBIs on the year for Angelton. Hitless last night. Snapped a string of 4 straight multi-hit games for him. This swing the bat overall in the month of July very well. He's got Calhoun at second and Trout at first, with the Angels leading at 1-0. This is back toward the middle. Mondesi has it go off his chest. Ricochets away, fires to first, safe at first. That's an error on the youngster. And the bases are loaded.
Good base running, though, by Cole Calhoun, and good job by Ron Renick to hold Cole at third as this ball is lined off. Looked like it even tipped the glove. Mondesi unable to make the play in the wide throw, but Hosmer very alertly looks back right towards third base. A lot of times you'll see a runner keep going around and try to score on it. But Mondesi unable to field that first ground ball his way tonight.
I like the alertness of Eric Hosmer to come off the bag, not try to stretch for a play that wasn't going to be there.
And he was ready to make that throw to home. There's a reason why he's won 3 straight Gold Gloves at that first base position.
G-Man Choi takes inside for ball 1. G-Man 10 for 57. That's a 175 batting average. Has 4 doubles, 2 home runs, and 3 RBIs. 1 for 4 last night. Pulled the double down the right field line. Count is evened up on him at 1-1. A lot of early swinging against Dylan G. He's thrown 18 pitches so far here at the top of the first.
Going back-to-back changeups. G-Man Choi.
Third plate appearance for Choi this year with the bases loaded. 0 for 1 with a walk. Off speed. Catches the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Halos up 1-0.
A lot of times when you throw a changeup like that, you'll try to back it up with that 2-seam fastball. Try that same angle to bring it back in the inside corner.
That is shot to third. Cuthbert has it, and that'll do it for the Angels. They leave them loaded, but they strike first. It's 1-0 Angels as we head to the bottom of the inning. Yosa's starting lineup for the Kansas City Royals. Yale City's Escobar will lead things off at shortstop. Chesler Cuthbert at third base. Eric Hosmer at first. Kendrys Morales, the cleanup hitter at DH. Salvador Perez homered last night. He's back in that 5th spot behind the plate. Alex Gordon left. Paulo Orlando at center. Brett Eibner at right. And Raul Mondesi Jr.
is batting ninth and playing second base. They are taking on the 25-year-old left-hander, former first-round pick of the Angels out of Santa Monica High School by the name of Tyler Skaggs.
And Tyler Skaggs has thrown the ball very well in his rehab assignment, especially of late. Very good ERA. But my go-tos for Tyler to be successful here tonight, just relax and enjoy this moment, coming back after nearly out for 2 full seasons. And that downhill success, very good as far as balance over that pitching over, working downhill to be able to keep that 2-seam and 4-seam fastball down.
Sure, he's got to be having a lot of butterflies, Gooby. First game since July 31st, 2014. The first pitch is downstairs on Escobar.
And that's understandable, that very first pitch. And just having a conversation with him yesterday, I said, hey, you know, we always joke around what's the most important thing. Just try to take that good, deep breath and relax on the mound.
Three balls, no strikes. And it's a 4-pitch walk to start the bottom of the first.
In my Hyundai key for this game today, a little Guns N' Roses, Paradise City. This, like I said, just sit back and enjoy this moment. Now all of a sudden you get that first batter out of the way. See, obviously overthrowing some pitches. Just relax and get back to that ground ball action when he can get. And he can get those double plays quickly and get ahead and use that curveball. But just relax and enjoy this moment.
Families in attendance. Dad Daryl, Mom Debbie in the center, and his girlfriend Carly on the right. First one's in for a strike on Cuthbert, the third baseman. .296 average for Chesler. 9 home runs and 33 runs batted in. And a 1-for-4 game last night. Both throw. Escobar working the 4-pitch walk, just the 17th base on balls he's drawn this year. Kansas City with 55 stolen bases on the year. Escobar with 14 of them. That is down and in, did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pretty good velo on that fastball. That one just a little bit below the strike zone at 94 miles an hour.
Cuthbert getting the bulk of the playing time over at third base, with Moustakas out of the lineup for the rest of the season. This one's fouled at the plate. Double hit that ball. 1-2 now. Cuthbert from Nicaragua, Corn Island, Nicaragua. Undrafted free agent back in 2009. Got into 19 games last year towards the end. 10 prospect according to Baseball America for Kansas City prior to this season.
Skaggs a pretty good move over the first base. 5 career pickoffs for Tyler Skaggs.
The expectations tonight for Tyler.
You know, I think getting through that first batter, I think his stuff has been that good. I fully expect him to be able to get in that six plus innings today, get some ground ball action, and get some swing and misses, especially on that curveball that he has. That was a nasty curveball. See that downward action he has, he creates. We talk about downhill success. Very good balance over the pitching rubber. He's made an adjustment. Obviously, you don't see it here from the stretch position, but from the full windup, does not bring the glove over the head anymore. He wants to keep that front shoulder in and utilize his lower part of his body. His legs a lot stronger than it's ever been. Those last 6 starts at AAA, 1.21 ERA, 43 strikeouts, his 3 walks.
Short lead for Escobar at first. Eric Hosmer at the plate.
The big swing and a miss.
Look at the numbers for Hosmer with the middle pitches. That's exactly where that fastball was. 455 batting average on middle pitches. #1 in all of baseball, and Skaggs got that fastball by him.
Almost like he got a little too quick trying to turn on that ball. Overswing. Now it's a little bit more of a Eric Hosmer type hack. No balls, 2 strikes.
We talked about Tyler Skaggs being able to breathe as a family, as a mom and dad and girlfriend. That's also the same thing you're trying to do, just be able to breathe and relax out there and just enjoy all the hard work it took for Tyler Skaggs to get back into this moment.
Difference being they could walk away at any point. They could step away, go get a beer or a soda, whatever. Tyler's got to stick it out. 0-2 now. There's that breaking ball grounded toward Giavotella. Flips it to Simmons for one. The relay back to first, not in time. Johnny took a little while getting to that baseball.
Yeah, I think Johnny realized that too. He's going to have a quick conversation with Simmons. That's one of those plays you would think it's a tailor-made double play. And the long flip and a low flip. And Hosmer runs very well. Forced that throw away from first base.
So 2 outs and a man at first, and it's Kendrys Morales at the plate. Skaggs, by the way, becomes the 11th different starting pitcher for the Angels this year. That ties the Oakland A's for most in the American League.
By the way, this is so much like a major league debut for Tyler Skaggs, as long as it's been for him.
Yeah. 31 career starts coming into tonight. 8-11, a 4.72 ERA. His 18th and final start of 2014 was the one against the Orioles, which he came out with that forearm tightness. It's 2 balls, no strikes on Morales.
I remember a number of years ago, my debut here in this stadium, my first 4 pitches of the game, out of the strike zone too, by the way. That was fun.
Any hit batters?
Not that game. Maybe a few others along the road, on the long road.
Kendrys late on the fastball.
All trying to establish the fastball in, of course.
Always.
Brett Butler was the hitter. He was with Cleveland. For some reason, I thought the mound home plate area was 50 feet away. I don't know why they just determined it was supposed to be 60 feet 6 inches, but I was throwing my fastball at 50 feet. Couldn't believe they couldn't call that a strike.
3-1 count. Salvador Perez on deck. Hosmer over at first with 2 down, 1-0 Angels. We're in the bottom of the first. Kendrys lifts it foul and out of play. Full count. Nice crowd tonight. Not quite at the capacity we saw last night. 33,000. Still some seats available upstairs, corners.
Ended up being a beautiful day here. This time of the year, very comfortable.
Payoff pitch. Breaking ball got him, and he locked him up. 2 strikeouts in the first inning for Tyler Skaggs, both on breaking balls. We'll head to the second. Angels leading it.
Show for the business of sports, brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by Scion Cerritos. Tyler Skaggs, a total of 17 pitches in the first inning. 9 strikes, 8 balls, 2 strikeouts, and both via that curveball. As Carlos Perez takes ball 1 to start the second.
And you might have been thinking, why is Carlos Perez catching Tyler Skaggs tonight? Well, he caught those last 2 very good, impressive outings down in AAA with 26 strikeouts and 12 2/3. The comfort zone, 2 working together.
Carlos last night went 1 for 4 with an RBI. Pulls this one down the line, foul. Perez's batting average of .206, 4 home runs, 24 RBIs. One, 2. Carlos shoots one to right. Good piece of hitting. Lead off single to start the second.
Seen some pretty good swings already in this game. We saw that last night from the offense. Another good swing from Carlos Perez, letting that baseball travel. Same thing that Cole Calhoun did. Stays back on that one well. Had that approach. When he's at that kind of comfort zone with his swing, Carlos, a short stride and then threw the baseball so well to drive the ball that way. Remember last year we talked about it. A lot of times when he had 2 strikes on him, he shortened up his approach and shot that ball very hard the other way. Kind of went away from that so far this year, but that's a good one there.
Johnny takes that pitch inside. Gibbatello. Back-to-back starts at second base, hitting .261. 17 doubles, a triple, 6 home runs, 27 RBIs. 1 for 4 last night. Pardon me, 2 for 4 last night with a run scored. Breaking ball, that just missed. Not by much. In case you're wondering, watching at home, and you see this angle here from center field, you see kind of that haziness cutting across. That's the mist from the fountains out in center field. No smoke going on here at Kauffman Stadium or anything like that. At least not yet. Hit and run is on. This one's hit into the dugout and out.
Yeah, pretty breezy, and what that does is moves the water and the spray from the fountains out towards the camera.
Keeps the camera guys cool.
Yes.
This is the ballpark. This entire complex called the Harry S. Truman Sports Complex. As in this ballpark, Kauffman Stadium, of course, Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid here last night.
Oh, yeah. 2-1. That is a strike on the corner. And he caught the ceremonial first pitch. No truth to the rumor that he called 2 timeouts before that first pitch.
Very successful head coach.
At calling timeouts, yes.
And at Philadelphia and Kansas City.
Yeah. I like Andy. Until the end of a game. Breaking pitch, hooked down the left field line. Foul. Carlos turned at second. We'll head back. Top of the order, and Escobar on deck. The Angels getting on the board in the first inning. Single by Unell and a double down the left field line by Cole. Fastball misses low. Full count.
I got to believe Carlos will be going. The reason why is Gibbatello, one of the most difficult hitters to strike out. So this baseball will be put in play more than likely. It gives Mike Scioscia the option of sending Carlos Perez here.
Takes off 3-2, a little liner towards second. That's going to turn into a double play. 2 down.
And Mondesi able to hold his ground. Escobar was going to be covering the base and allowed him to make that play. Otherwise, if he's covering the base, that's going to get through the infield and go first or third rather easily.
The 2-out base is clear, and it's Escobar up.
And a lot of times with a right-handed batter up, second baseman would be covering the base. But because Dylan G is throwing a lot of pitches away, Mondesi holds his ground, and Escobar was covering on that potential stolen base attempt with Carlos on the move on a 3-2 pitch.
This one's out toward left field. Another base hit for Escobar. Gordon trying to cut it off, can't do so. It'll go to the wall. Unell will stroll into second with a double.
Mr. Multi-hit game. And he's pulled both baseballs, at least on that left side of the field. One down the left field line, and then this one here to left center field. Break a ball that stays out over the plate, stayed back on that one well. The barrel of the bat on it and lines it into left center field for his 22nd double.
Cole 1 for 1 with a double down the left field line. He will look at a strike. Double for Cole, his 17th of the year. Picked up his 51st RBI. He now scored all the way from first on that one. One around.
Change up. G against Calhoun.
Good lead for Escobar with 2 outs at second base. Foul back. Dylan G, a 13-game winner for the Mets back in 2011. 23 starts that year. Product of the University of Texas, Arlington. Hunter Pence territory. 0-2. That is lifted out the left field. Not very deep. Gordon underneath it. And we'll head to the bottom of the second with the Angels up 1-0.
nice yard. Kansas City, they renovated it several years from. There are the fountains there that causing that mist on the cameras. Salvador Perez will lead things off for Kansas City. He'll be followed by Alex Gordon, then Paulo Orlando. Perez homered last night. Jumped on a Santiago fastball. Breaking ball drops in there. 0-2. Salvador now with 15 home runs on this season and 45 runs batted in. Liking that breaking ball. President's jam, fouls it back.
And you notice on that follow through from Tyler Skaggs, well, he used to always bring his hands over his head. Then in spring training, he decided to be a little bit more, try to be more compact in his delivery, just bring the glove around chest high. But now he's back to being comfortable enough to bring that over his head to have that good downward action on his pitches. You know, a lot of times you'll see, well, we've talked about it a lot of pitchers go from that modified stretch position to be more compact in your deliveries.
Two balls, two strikes. Pulls this one and glove by Escobar, who laid out for it. One down.
Very good play by Yunel Escobar on that break ball, line by Salvador Perez. The dives, makes a nice play on that line drive, able to hold on to the baseball. And throughout this game, Escobar is going to get a lot of work, especially with that slow breaking ball. The right-handed batters, they will pull the ball towards him throughout this game.
There's Alex Gordon, the left fielder, taking a strike. .202 batting average for Gordon. 68th game, 7 home runs, 16 runs batted in.
Gordon has been much better on elevated pitches, hitting only 128 on low pitches. Now behind in the count, 0-2. It's the worst in the majors on low pitches.
Fastball got him looking.
That was a little Mo Larry the Cheese on the outside corner. Look at that location, the frame, perfect by Carlos Perez. And here's his delivery, bringing that hands over the head, eyes on the target, great bounce, shoulders level, and then he drives towards that plate. We talk about that downhill action. Excellent delivery for Tyler Skaggs.
Paulo Orlando looks at a strike. Orlando 317 this year. Good speed, slashes this one foul. Ground ball to second. Should do it. Giavotella has it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Skaggs. 1-0 Angels as we enter the third. When we come back, we'll take a look at Mike Trout's stance.
And the Angels are leading the Royals 1-0 here in the top of third. We talked about that, a little bit of an adjustment in the stance. You see how it was closed more so on Saturday against the Astros here on this road trip. Opened it up here now to be able to be quicker on inside pitches. He's been pitched inside a lot. You can see right there, the hand's very similar, but the stance itself a little more open now here tonight.
Trout worked the walk in his first plate appearance, so no official at bat for him. A little closer to the plate tonight, too.
He's able, and he's always had great plate coverage to begin with. I think it's still be able to get that outside part of the plate, but still adjust inside. And not drastic like we used to see from Cal Ripken Jr. all the time, but a little bit of an adjustment right here for Trout with the open stance. And you look what he has hit. Very good on the inside part of the plate. Middle to middle away, very good. And as usual, down and in, great numbers. It's a great swing of the pitch out over the plate, middle. And for the norm, seen a lot of pitches. Coming in this game, averaging 4.40 pitches per plate appearance, third most in Major League Baseball.
Missed inside. Full count. One walk for G, and that was to Trout in the first. 4 hits allowed. Payoff pitch. That is down the right field line. Long run for Paulo Orlando, and a slice and foul and out of play.
You never know in these corners here over the years at Kauffman Stadium before Royal Stadium. This ball carries very well down in the corners, both left field and right field.
Misspoke. Brett Eibner at right field. Orlando's at center. Another 3-2. And Howard got it. Top part of the strike zone. And G records his first strikeout of the night.
Little bit cut fastball brings it back upper part of the strike zone at 87 in inside corner. Here's tonight's In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia with Albert Pujols, 4 RBI last night, 1,774 career RBIs, 21st all time. That's 32 RBI for Albert, which leads the majors since June 20th. So he has been on a tear as far as driving in runs.
Oh, 2. Foul. Albert 0 for 1, hit that fly ball to shallow left in his first plate appearance.
Pujols with 71 career RBIs against the Royals. Looked like Albert was a little upset with himself, expanding the strike zone, swinging that high fastball.
Couple of happy Angel fans there. Line to center field. Good piece of hitting by Albert. He's been doing that much more of late. Put a man on with 1 out. Hey folks, the Angels mentioned will take on the Red Sox for a 4-game series on Sunday at 12:35. Fans in attendance will receive a one-of-a-kind umbrella hat courtesy of Waba Grill while supplies last. Go to angels.com/promotions to get your tickets. Here's Nava. Saw one pitch in his first at bat. Hit a fly ball to shallow left center.
Much better of late in the last 16 games. Batting average almost at 290, at 289.
Daniel still having troubles trying to catch up to that high fastball.
You see both pitches so far in the sequence by G against him upstairs. Salvador Perez is a big target behind home plate, and he seems to catch every game. He has so since coming up with the Royals.
Jammed him. This was lofted out to shallow center. That's Orlando calling for it, makes the catch, 2 down.
And that's one of those high fastballs up and in, jammed them. All 3 pitches, upper part of the strike zone.
So Simmons comes up with Pujols still standing at first base. Andrelton is 0 for 1, reached on the error by Mondesi. Angels eventually left the bases loaded as G-Man Choi lined down to Cuthbert at third base. All that happening in the first inning. Popped him up. Hosmer got a beat on it. Halos are done here in the third. Right to the bottom of the inning with the Angels leading at 1-0. Saturday, Bryce Harper, the Nationals taking on the San Francisco Giants, and the Cardinals battle Giancarlo Stanton and the Marlins in a game you can only see on FS1. The action begins at noon Pacific on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go.
For that battle for the wild card race, especially in the National League, what we've seen so far, that's going to be very interesting, especially as you get towards the trade deadline August 1st.
Right around the corner. Brett Eibner, Raul Mondesi Jr., now City's Escobar coming up for Kansas City. That's 8-9-1 facing Tyler Skaggs. 3 strikeouts for Skaggs. 1 walk. That is pulled to left field. G-Man Choi makes the catch. 1 out.
Eight batters faced so far for Tyler Skaggs, 6 of them first pitch strikes.
There's Raul Mondesi Jr. called up today. It is Major League debut, if you will. Last year in the World Series, the only player to ever make his debut in the big leagues in a World Series.
So now it wouldn't be that big of a deal for you then,
it's
right?
all downhill from there, right? He shoots this one out to center field, hit very well, chasing Trout back, and Mike will track it down on the warning track for the first out.
A lot of room there to center field here at Kauffman Stadium, and Trout needing all that room to run this one down. Wait as he gets to the warning track. That head is never moving. The eyes don't move. Looks at right into the glove and knows when that wall is going to come into play. He's able to brace himself. Solid play by Trout.
Two up, two down, top of the order now, Escobar. Worked a 4-pitch walk to start off the bottom of the first. We'll take low for ball one. Just one of a couple of players acquired in that Zach Greinke deal from the Milwaukee Brewers. He's ahead of the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Escobar, Lorenzo Cain, Jeremy Jeffress, Jake Odorizzi coming over to Kansas City for Greinke, Yuniesky Betancourt for the shortstop.
And Odorizzi goes down to Tampa.
That turned into
Wade Davis, James Shields.
Yeah. Will Myers going in that deal as well. Kansas City to Tampa. 2-2. It's down it in. Full count.
And one of the first breaking balls that Tyler has overthrown that one.
Nice tempo so far, especially after getting through that first inning. 39 pitches, 26 for strikes. Foul back. Another payoff. Shot back up the middle, and it's a base hit. First hit allowed by Skaggs. Wing single. And it'll bring up Chesler Cuthbert.
Towards the end of the bat, and just by Giavatelli into the outfield for a base hit.
Ground ball left side. Escobar can't get it. So back-to-back singles with 2 outs. Eric Hosmer now will bat with a couple of men on.
Their most consistent hitter in these spots. 54 RBI at a career high 93 last season.
Halos play a shift on Hosmer. So Simmons, being on the shortstop side of second base, shading him toward the middle. When Hosmer's locked in, which he has been for the most part this season, he sprays the ball all over the place.
He has 38 opposite field hits. Been amazing in the postseason. 29 RBI in 31 career playoff games.
2 balls, no strikes. Escobar at second. Cuthbert over at first. 2 down. Hosmer lifts one out to left field. G-Man Choi has to go back on it. And getting turned around and will make the catch. A little bit of an adventure out there in left field, but G-Man corrals it. We head to the 4th. Halos up 1-0. A first inning run lead at 1-0 as we start the 4th inning. Dylan G on the mound for Kansas City. Will face the bottom third of the order for the Angels. It's Choi, Perez, and Giavotella. 5 hits for the Halos, 2 for Kansas City. Both of the Royals hits coming in the bottom of the 3rd. G-Man lined out to the 3rd baseman. His first at bat, so he's 0 for 1. Got him to reach for that off-speed pitch.
It's been a pretty solid pitch for him early on in this game. This changeup. Dylan G starts his motion from the first base side of the pitching rubber. Generally, a right-handed pitcher will start towards the third base side of the pitching rubber. Modified delivery himself.
Breaking pitch lifted to left. Alex Gordon is there. One down. And the Angels will be taking on the Oakland A's next Tuesday at August the 2nd, 7:05 start. You will get an Angels soccer scarf courtesy of Microsemi while supplies last if you go to that game. But you got to go to that game.
Yes, that game.
Angels.com/promotions to get information and to buy tickets for that game.
That day on Tuesday, right? That
the only day you can get that soccer scarf. FC Angels. Right?
Yes, indeed.
You should start a soccer club. A soccer kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
Got the hair. Had the hair anyway.
Had the hair.
Yeah.
Remember C.J. Crone saying that him and Simmons playing soccer games on video games a lot.
Carlos pulls this one toward the hole. Cuthbert has to go off his glove. Escobar not to be able to get it. That should go as an infield base hit. Well, it doesn't surprise me that Angelton Simmons is playing soccer video games since he grew up playing soccer in Curacao.
off the glove, and Escobar was trying to get himself in position to use that bare hand. He's done that a number of times throughout his career as a Royal. Deflection off the glove of the third baseman and still trying to make a play on it. Well, you know Simmons, because of those quick feet he has, you know he can play some soccer.
Johnny takes down low. I grew up playing soccer with Didi Gregorius and Jurickson Profar. They said Didi was a better basketball player than soccer player just because he grew up with a hoop in his backyard.
Like it.
Yeah. Two balls, no strikes on Johnny Giavotella. Lined into a soft double play. His first time up.
Real good hit and run count here now. 2-1 with one out.
Three balls and a strike. Three-one count. Carlos Perez on first base. That is ball four. So Escobar will bat now with a couple of men on. Now already with a couple of hits. Single and a double for Escobar. Halos tonight already 0 for 5 with men in scoring position. It's still up 1-0. Ground ball back up the middle, off the glove of Gene. That's going to go for an infield base hit.
Yeah, that had a real good chance of being a double play. Instead, an infield hit. Where you know elsewhere, a 3-hit game. You see where the infielders are situated, that's going to be a double play ball. And that reaction, especially when you throw the glove behind you like that, it's very difficult to catch that baseball. It's pure luck if it goes in your glove. Instead, it's an infield hit and allows Cole Calhoun to come up with the bases loaded.
Kind of blows apart your greatest athletes theory of pitchers.
And great soccer players, I might add.
Here's Cole Calhoun with the bases loaded. Cole with a double and a fly ball out. Perez standing at third, Giavotella at second, and Escobar at first. This was cued up the line, and it'll stay foul. 71 pitches for G, 48 strikes. Colt 4 for 7 this year with the bases loaded. 8 runs batted in. Royals do not shift a whole lot. They're playing it straight up. Ground ball left side. Escobar to his right will go to third base. They force out Giavotella. Nice play by Alcides. The run scores, and it's 2-0 Angels.
Yeah, it would have been a tough throw anywhere in the infield except for the third base bag. The reason why he won a Gold Glove last year. Good range in that one right away. See, able to go right to third base on that one. No play at second one. It certainly would not have been a play at first base. Cuthbert, very wise decision to go right back to the base himself.
So Trout will bat with 2 outs and 2 on. It's a little jam shot towards short, and it's misplayed by Escobar. Gets by him. Udell will come in to score. Cole ends up at third. 3-0 Halos. See that motion by Alcides with the hand, saying that ball was knuckling out toward him.
Yeah, a little top hand spin on that baseball. Gets underneath his glove. A very difficult play to make. See how that baseball stays down on him. It gets underneath the glove. I think it's going to end up being a hit for Trout and an RBI.
Yep. So first and third, 2 outs, 3-0 Angels. Here's Albert. 1 for 2 with a base hit.
Well, again, this inning could have been a completely different if Dylan G lets that ground ball hit right back up the middle by Escobar. Instead, 2 runs scored, and you have to face one of the best RBI producers the game has ever seen in Albert Pujols.
Off-speed pitch, cut on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, it should be a 1-0 game at the bottom of the 4th. Calhoun at third with Trout over at first. Mike picks up his 63rd RBI. It's fouled back.
Foul ball right next door. Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery.
Not even making a move at it.
Oh, he's smart.
No chance.
See, he let that baseball go right up the middle.
1-2. This one's lifted out toward right center. Paulo Orlando moving over underneath it. And the Angels will add 2 here at the top of the 4th. We hit to the bottom of the 4th inning. Angels on top 3-0.
Tonight's Cold Hard Facts, which are brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light. In Angels history, with 30 or more home runs, 40 or more doubles in 1 year, Doug DeCinces did back in 1982. GA, future Angel Hall of Famer coming up soon, 2000. Kendrys Morales did it back in 2009, and Albert Pujols did it 2012. Looking forward to that night with Garrett Anderson getting put into the Angels Hall of Fame.
Coming up next month, Saturday night when the Yankees are in town.
Hey, the fourth, 4, 5, and 6. Skaggs first pitch misses. Morales, Perez, and Gordon for Kansas City. Kendrys went down looking on a big curveball to end the first. 1-1. Skaggs with 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2 hits allowed. Ground ball toward the middle, and there's Johnny Giavotella.
See how Tyler Skaggs allowed that baseball to get to Giavotella and knowing exactly where he was placed. Go back to my Hyundai key to this game, Paradise City. The excitement, all that hard work to get back on the major league mound. So far, so good for Tyler Skaggs. Very good through 10 outs. He's throwing the ball very, very well.
Yeah.
And under control, especially that first batter when he walked him on 4 pitches. Downhill action. Very good stuff throughout.
Yeah, looking like the guy that was throwing the ball so well at AAA. Salvador Perez lofts one on the first base side. Albert giving chase as a play makes the catch. 2 down.
I remember when Tyler was making his first so-called start. It was a simulated game down in Tempe, Arizona. Watching him throw the baseball, he was throwing the ball so well. His command, and after he threw his first pitch, he had this huge smile on his face, and you knew at that point he was feeling better. He had some discomfort in his shoulder, and some fatigue in his shoulder, but his elbow, which had that major surgery, the Tommy John surgery, was feeling very, very well. And you knew at that point, once he got through the ups and downs as far as that rehab, getting back, you knew he was going to throw the ball well, and he has so far.
Alex Gordon swinging first pitch, hits one out to shallow right center field. Giavotella, Simmons of course taking control. Quick inning for Tyler Skaggs. You like that for sure. We'll head to the 5th inning. Halos up 3-0. Angels baseball on Fox Sports West is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. By El Pollo Loco. Try the new overstuffed quesadillas today. And by Infinity. Visit your local Southern California Infinity retailer for a test drive today. Halos up 3-0, top of the 5th inning. Dylan G back out of the bump for Kansas City, facing Daniel Nava. He's 0 for 2 on the night. He will take ball 1. 78th pitch thrown by G. Had some issues in the first inning with the Angels jumping on him early in the count.
Man, we always talk about a pitcher put up a 0, a shutdown inning. How quick was that shutdown inning for Tyler Skaggs?
Like that. 2 1-pitch outs.
5 total pitches thrown in the inning.
Two 1 count. Nava DHing tonight with Albert getting to start at first base. G-Man Choi in left. Angels DFA Todd Cunningham to make room for Tyler Skaggs. This one's fouled off. DFA meaning designated for assignment. The Angels needed a 40-man roster spot because Skaggs had been on the 60-day DL. And so in order to make move, they had to DFA Todd. He clears, set him down to AAA. But I guess you could say playing perhaps maybe a little short-handed on the offensive side as Nava lifts one out toward right field. Out in front, Eibner is there. One down. Halos on the offensive side tonight. 8 total hits, 3 by Yunel Escobar, the last one, the infield variety. Carlos Perez with a couple of singles himself.
But what a season with the bat that Escobar has had for the Angels.
First one downstairs to Andrelton. And what was it, like 3 weeks ago? A lot of rumors. The Angels move Yunel. Haven't heard anything. Been very quiet on the third base front. Ground ball left side toward the hole. Jump throw by Alcides Escobar. Throws it Andrelton Simmons. On a terrific play by the Royals shortstop, 2 down.
And we talked about 2 of the best, the premier shortstops defensively in all of baseball, not just the American League, but all of baseball. Take a look at this one. This is our AT high-speed replay. Alcides Escobar, the long throw across the diamond, gets Andrelton Simmons by a half a step into that outfield grass. Very similar to what we saw last night from Simmons.
I wasn't sure if he had the baseball. I wasn't sure the transfer was clean.
It's almost like he threw a palm ball over there.
That's pretty darn good palm ball as far as velocity is concerned. As G-Man looks at a strike. Simmons' 2 plays last night, even though didn't get credit for the outs on him, although one eventually replay overturned it. When you get those plays on the highlight shows and they're not outs, they're pretty good plays.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that range for Simmons is off the charts. Escobar, the same thing at shortstop for the Royals, but Simmons, he does things that you just can't believe he can do on the field.
Two slow roller foul up the first base line.
You see how far this baseball is into that outfield grass, and this quickly. You see right there, he doesn't really have a grip on the baseball as he's trying to get a better grip as he's in the air going away from the long throw to first base.
Almost looked at Gibby as that bare hand was coming into the glove. The fingers hit the tip of the glove, so he wasn't able to go in there cleanly. But you talk about arm strength. There it is right there.
And an excellent stretch by Hosmer at first base also.
That fouls it off. Still at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
We've talked to a lot of Royals people the last couple of days when we talk about defensive shifts. Well, they feel that because this infield for the Royals is so athletic, they don't necessarily have to put the shift on a whole lot defensively. They have a lot of coverage.
Choi shoots one out to left field, slicing away from Gordon, but he'll track it down. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Dylan G. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Tyler Skaggs back out of the bump. He's got a 3-0 lead.
It's 2014. And he's thrown the ball well. It'll be 2 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, total of 50 pitches, 34 for strikes so far.
And that 1 walk was the leadoff batter of the game, and 4 pitches thrown, 3 strikeouts. Curveball has been very good. His command of his fastball has been excellent.
Royals setting up the bottom third of its order. Orlando, Eibner, and Mondesi. Was lined to left. It's a leadoff single for Paulo Orlando. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Second time tonight that the Royals have had their leadoff man reach. The other was Escobar, lead off the bottom of the first via the walk. Fred Eibner, the right fielder, and a fly ball to G-Man Cho in his first plate appearance.
Boy, Skaggs with that good move towards first, even though when he's delivering the baseball home, I've seen so far from the base runners for Kansas City, they are going back towards the base. Orlando, a very good base stealer. His 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts, very fast.
5 stolen bases, you mentioned, been caught once.
See him leaning back there. The focus right now for Tyler Skaggs is the batter here. Always the most difficult inning for a starting pitcher, especially with a lead like this, is getting through that 5th inning so you can qualify for the W. You just got to think in terms of my best innings got to be this 5th. Then you go on cruise control from that point forward.
Good pitch.
It's right down the middle.
Got the bottom part of the zone. Doesn't get the call. 3-1 count.
Take a look at our Fox tracks. That's just pretty much right in the heart of the plate at the knees.
Short lead for Orlando at first.
Eibner's had 2 pretty good swings on fastballs away against Skaggs. One at 91, that one at 93 miles an hour.
Three-two. That's a called strike 3. Down goes Eibner, 1 out.
He located that one perfectly in a fastball away there at 95. Stayed back on the well, the follow through, and the downhill action right on the corner. Perfect spot.
Strikeout number 4 for Tyler. Here comes Raul Mondesi, second baseman. Saw 1 pitch in his first at bat in the big leagues in the regular season. And drove one to the warning track in center field. It was tracked down by Trout. He's 0 for 1. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. Mondesi, 21 years of age. Born in LA while his dad was with the Dodgers, but makes his home in the Dominican Republic. Check in at first base. Mondesi, earlier this year had been to serve a 50-game suspension handed down by Major League Baseball.
Birthday tomorrow, 21 will turn. Took a quick,
up.
Looked like a quick look down to third to see if Escobar had moved in at all.
Orlando takes off. The throw down to second, and it is not in time. A stolen base for Paulo Orlando.
Again, going on first movement, guessed right, and a break of ball to boot. And you see right there, Giavotella keeping that tag applied all the way through the slide just in case he came off the base at any point.
One count on Mondesi. Top of the order, now City's Escobar on deck.
Pretty close pitch. Didn't miss by a lot, if it did at all.
Mondesi over 3 levels this year. Combined .268 batting average. 14 games at AAA, was hitting .304. Angels with a run of the first, 2 in the 4th. Up 3-0 here, the bottom of the 5th. Leadoff single by Orlando. Eibner struck out looking. Now Mondesi with a 2-2 count. Pulls it foul. And World Series debut for Mondesi last year was a Game 3 at Citi Field. And he pinch hit for the pitcher spot. Finally getting the call up today.
Well, his dad was some kind of player. Great arm, great power. Hit for an average.
Big guy, but built like a brick house.
And he could run.
Yeah.
And what an arm.
Wearing Louis Aquino's old number 27. Another 2-2. Outside. Full count.
Good call on that one.
Funny how certain numbers when it comes to Kansas City just stick in my mind with certain players.
You talk about a slow delivery. Luis Aquino had that sneaky fastball.
Payoff pitch. This is popped up first base side. Albert. Oh, watch this one land in the seats. Louis was pitching with the expansion Marlins in '93 when I was working as the bullpen catcher that year. You got a chance to spend some time with him. Really good dude.
Oh, the best.
Talk about chill.
Oh,
he was super mellow. Orlando at second. This is flipped out toward right field. Cole comes in. He'll make the catch. They're going to double up Orlando. And they got him. Boy, Cole, little double clutch looking down, and Paulo Orlando falling asleep. It's a double play to end the 5th. We head to the 6th inning with the Angels up 3-0.
far. San Diego tie with Toronto at 4. Melvin Upton pinch hit with Toronto against his former team. Cleveland losing to Washington. Cleveland's lost 3 in a row, down this one 5-3, and Seattle up 7-4 with 2 home runs and 4 doubles. And here's our game break up to Boston. Big Papi, who's coming into town this weekend. 2 on, not anymore. 3-run home run for David Ortiz. What a game they're having up there in Boston. A good pitcher's duel. It's 8-8 at Fenway Park.
Carlos Perez to lead things off for the Angels, and he'll take ball 1 from Dylan G. 8-9-1 for the Halos. Perez, Giavotella, and Escobar. Carlos 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a run scored. G just threw his 93rd pitch of this game. Kansas City starting to get some action going in their pen beyond the left field wall. Breaking pitch in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yep.
There's the 1-2. And that is hit well to left. Gord's going to watch this one go. That is gone. A big fly for Carlos Perez. Makes it 4-0 Halos.
Wow, that baseball traveled a long way, well over the bullpen. 3 for 3 night for Carlos Perez. Almost made its way up to that Hall of Fame building. Ran this fastball inner part of the plate, and Carlos does a great job as far as bringing his hands in, and he was able to get those hips wide open in the barrel of the bat and a long way out to left field.
5th of the season for Carlos. You mentioned a 3-hit game. Here's Johnny Giavotella. Johnny will take ball 1.
Hit 4 of all last year, 5th home run this year. Giavotella with 6 home runs this year. That's a career high for him.
This is line to center field. A base hit might actually split the outfielders. Orlando with good speed cuts it off. Johnny keeps on running. The throw is offline. It's a double for Giavotella. Mentioned Tyler Skaggs making his debut tonight after spending a couple of years on DL. Let's go down to Ken French.
Yeah, certainly a exciting night, Victor. Thank you very much. A lot of support group here in the audience. Skaggs family, they got in today, and with Debbie Skaggs, mom of Tyler. And exactly when did you guys get to town?
We got in about 2 o'clock today. We met Ty at the hotel, Ty and Carly, and Ty seemed real calm. He asked me if we wanted to go to Starbucks with him, and we're like, yeah, sure, let's go. So he had his little routine, 4 shots of espresso over ice, and then he seemed really easygoing today, not too uptight. So it was awesome.
Perfect. I'm gonna get back to you. Don't go anywhere. But we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, Halos up 4-0.
Back out here at the Kauffman Stadium, 4-0 Halos in the 6th inning. Turning it out, who's in, who's out. Chris Young takes over for Dylan G. Young, a 2-8 record, a 6.61 ERA, pitching in his 19th game. 13 have been starts. Yunel Escobar coming to the plate with Giavatello at second. Let's go back down to Ken French.
Victor, thank you very much. Continue our conversation with Debbie Skaggs, mother of Tyler, in attendance. Who else is here to support him?
Ty's stepdad, who has worked hours and hours, countless hours with him on his mechanics and catching him. Believe it or not, he still catches him in the off season. And then his girlfriend, Carly. So it's been a nice afternoon.
Who was more nervous heading into this one, you or Tyler?
Probably me. You know, the moms are always a little bit more nervous, so it was a nervous excited. My family was texting me and wishing Tyler good luck, and I was saying I was nervous but excited for him. You know, he's worked his butt off for this for the last 2 years, so it's nice that he's able to come out here and have a strong outing.
But before the break, you were talking about Tyler, and he was just kind of going through his routine. He didn't seem like he was too up or too down for this one.
No, we texted him when we got in, and he had us come up to his room and just talk and shoot the shit and see what's going on. And then he's like, hey, I got to go over to Starbucks, so I got to do my routine of 4 espresso shots. So we walked over there, had a nice walk, just talking. So he was super relaxed. So I was really excited for him, though, just to be out here and know that the process works, and you just have to stay the course.
And finally, can you assess his performance here tonight? He's been looking like, after that first 4-pitch walk, he's dialed in.
Oh yeah, he looks good. I mean, a couple times he's got out of his mechanics, but he's looking good. You know, I think he was pretty amped up the first batter, so excited and amped. So he's probably overthrowing a little bit.
Debbie, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy this one. We'll keep our fingers crossed that it ends in a good way.
Thank you so much.
All right, Victor, send it back to you.
Escobar punching one to right field for a base hit. Giavatello gets held up at third. So it's a 4-for-4 game for Yunel Escobar, and the Angels have runners at the corners here with nobody out.
What a great piece of hitting once again by Escobar going the other way.
Debbie obviously very amped up to be here as well, watching her son, and any youngsters out there offended by a slip of the tongue. Hope you understand. We apologize for that. But obviously, Mom very excited to be here. And in a casual setting, those things tend to happen. Ain't no thing. Cole Calhoun will bat with runners at first and third. Cole 1 for 3. He drives one out to right field. Eibner going back, and he will make the catch shy of the track. Giavatello tags. He's coming in to score. Escobar advances a second, and it's a 5-0 Angels lead as Cole picks up his second RBI of the game.
Boy, throughout this game, and actually throughout the series so far, this really solid approaches at the plate. That's a good one again by Cole. Waiting for a pitch that he can drive deep enough to be able to get the run home. Brings home Johnny Giavatello. And also, Escobar is able to advance a second, so staying back well. Escobar just had that base hit the other way. Great swings. Any mistake made anywhere near the middle part of the plate has been hit hard. And again, using that middle of the field, we talked about it, that as far as a go-to today, well, they've been using the middle of the field quite a bit.
Pardon me, I misspoke. Cole with his third RBI. Picked one up in his second plate appearance when he had a fielder's choice. Try to walk, a strikeout and a single. No balls, 2 strikes.
Young, 6'10".
Our basketball player at the University of Princeton had a chance to play the NBA, but opting instead to play professional baseball. And Trout goes down swinging for the second out. Chris had a fantastic season last year for Kansas City. 11-6 with a 3.06 ERA, but he has struggled mightily this year.
Yeah, he doesn't have that overpowering fastball, but he has that disappearing fastball. Bud Black used to tell me that when they were down together in San Diego, because it's just above the belt. Hitters would read it well. It's coming in 88, 89 miles an hour, sometimes even 85, but it's just enough above that strike zone where hitters either pop it up or swing and miss.
Albert 1 for 3 with a base hit.
Still possess that pretty good hard slider going down and away. What he does, he'll go upstairs with the fastball, down and away with his slider.
This one's out toward right center field, chasing Orlando back. And shy of the track, back pedals onto the track, puts it away for the third out as the Angels get 2 and they lead at 5-0.
And all new Gooby Tuesdays coming up. Some players talk about their favorite all-time Hall of Famers. Hall of Fame weekend just happened.
I'm big on defense, and I mean, always get compared to him. He's like a guy that I always try to get on his level.
I would say standing man, not just because what he did in baseball, because everybody remember that, but what he did off the field, to serve his country, and miss 2 years, was pretty amazing.
For me, I'm a pitcher, obviously, so it's going to be Randy Johnson, but if I could be a hitter, it'd be Ken Griffey Jr., so I think both those guys play on my level just because I'm a Seattle kid.
I think for me, it's a pretty easy choice for me. George Brett, he was my roommate. He allowed me to stay in this place for the first couple years in the major league level. Only hitter ever to win the batting title in 3 different decades. So George Brett, obviously my all-time favorite. What about you, Victor?
I don't know, man. I have to think about it. Can I think about it for a second?
No.
I was doing some stuff in the scorebook here, and I wasn't really paying attention, so I apologize. Escobar leads things off. My bad. Favorite Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Man, that's a tough question. That's a really tough question. I can understand the connection with George. Your guy. Simmons barehands it, fires high. Albert keeps a foot on the bag, and a terrific play by Andrelton. So both shortstops tonight have had an opportunity to shine.
There's been some great swings, but it's always fun to see some great defensive plays. And Andrelton Simmons once again shows why he is the best. Even though Escobar very good, a lot on that throw, but Albert able to keep that toe on the base. Big out here to start the 6th. Long stride for Escobar, but a perfect throw. A lot on that by Simmons.
Cuthbert, the third baseman, takes his strike. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Man, I don't know.
You've been there before too. That's just a fantastic place to go to, Cooperstown.
But I don't have a personal connection or a story that goes with any particular Hall of Famer. So it's not like I have one guy that I grew up watching that is in there. Simmons has it.
Again, great technique as far as getting in front of that baseball once again by Simmons. I know I've helped a number of get in there. I should say Ken Griffey Jr. A couple home runs he hit off me.
I will say I'm happy Bert Blyleven got in. It took him quite a long time. Roberto Clemente, maybe.
Yeah, what a player he was.
With my dad.
What a player.
One guy I wish had not suffered through back injuries, because he would have been a surefire Hall of Famer. You could still kind of make the argument for Don Mattingly.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
That would have been my guy.
Yeah, he's. I still make an argument. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Simmons has this one. Talk about a quick shutdown inning for Tyler Skaggs. 6 in the books in Kansas City. Halos up 5-0. West is brought to you by Subaru, making the world a better place. That's why they created Subaru Loves to Care, Subaru's commitment to a healthier community. Oh, number 23, Zach Greinke's old number on the plaque for Mark Gubicza.
Oh, he hasn't quite got in there yet.
No, he hasn't.
He'll go 23 and a half,
Greinke was beloved here.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They always give him a rousing ovation every time he comes back.
Top of the 7th. Halos up by the score of 5-0. Daniel Nava to lead things off against Chris Young.
So every time you think of 23, you think of what, Cesar Geronimo or me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Nava's 0 for 3. 3 fly ball outs. What's off the plate? Evens up the count at a ball and a strike. Dylan G tonight went 5 innings, gave up 10 hits, 5 runs all earned, 2 walks. 1 strikeout and 1 long home run to Carlos Perez. Now Escobar and Carlos Perez have had a very nice night. This one's out toward left center field. Now get down for a base hit. Gordon cuts it off. It'll hold Nava to a leadoff single.
It's a good swing there. We've said that a lot tonight. Staying back on the baseball traveling deeper in the strike zone.
That pitch down in the zone for Daniel.
And it's odd, too, because Young is a guy that throws a lot of high fastballs.
There's Andrelton Simmons. Little number back toward the mound. Young's only plays to first. 1 out. Ji-Man Choi fouling off the first pitch. Ji-Man 0 for 3. Ball and a strike. Foul tipped. Second inning of relief for Young. Took over for G in the 5th. That is pulled foul, just wide of the line. Similar to the double that G-Man hit last night.
Yeah, he's been looking on the inner half of the plate of late and driving the ball very well. Early on, when he wasn't getting a lot of playing time, inconsistent at bats, hitting a lot of baseballs the other way, and late on some pitches. Now a lot quicker.
We got him. 2 down. Hey, join us as the Angels take on the Red Sox on Saturday, July 30th at 6:05. And after the game, stay and enjoy a family movie. Visit angels.com/promotions for more info and to get your tickets.
Be a lot of fun for the families.
Here's Carlos Perez, 3 for 3, couple of singles and a home run. Third game this season in which he's had 3 or more hits. Takes a strike.
When you talk about
on May 22nd against Baltimore, he had that 5-hit game against Boston at Fenway.
You talk about some balance. Leadoff hitter and Escobar with 4 hits, number 8 hitter with 3.
Breaking pitch, foul back, and the bat goes flying. Hits the netting above the dugout.
There's Dino Weeble right there. I want to wish his son Brady a happy birthday. Celebrate number 9 yesterday. And he's still able to get away from the bat going flying his way for Dino Weeble. Brady turned 9 yesterday. Always out at the ballpark. Especially see him a lot in spring training. Catching fly balls. Good little baseball player.
Oh, 2. Boy, the ball bouncing in the dirt. Nice play by Perez. A 1-2 count.
Very solid defensive catcher. Very good hitter also. But again, going back to the fact he plays a lot of games, a lot of innings.
Two. Kansas hitting the bottom of the 7th. Will have Morales, Perez, and Gordon to face Tyler Skaggs. 6 solid innings so far for Tyler. 4 strikeouts on the night. And he got him with a breaking pitch. Perez throws down to first to complete the strikeout. It is 7th inning stretch time here at Kauffman Stadium. Halos up 5-0. Skaggs has been dealing in his return to the big leagues.
Honda upcoming schedule for the Angels. One more tomorrow night, and then it's a late night flight back to Southern California. 7-game homestand. 4 against Boston, 3 against the Oakland A's, and a long roadie, Seattle, Chicago for a 2-game set for the Cubs, and then the Cleveland Indians.
What a job, though, so far for Tyler Skaggs. 73 pitches thrown in 6 shutout innings. First game back from his Tommy John surgery.
First pitch in for a strike on Kendrys Morales, who tonight is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Reaching for it, lofts one in the air. Slice out of play. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the amazing thing about this effort by Tyler Skaggs tonight, 2 5-pitch innings for Tyler. And both of them in the 4th and the 6th after the Angels scored 2 runs at both of those innings. You talk about a perfect shutdown inning.
Line to the alley at right center field. Trout and Calhoun. Calhoun with a diving catch. 1 down.
Well, he's had an outfield assist tonight, and what a play by Cole Calhoun. Out of nowhere, flying through the air. Full extension on the dive, and another outstanding play for the 2015 right fielder Gold Glove winner, Cole Calhoun.
He almost made a fantastic play last night going into the stands. Gets a big out here to start the 7th for Tyler.
3 RBI performance, too, at the plate. Very good in the field.
Salvador Perez takes a strike. A line out and a fly ball out. Boy, after that first pitch, or first batter 4-pitch walk, Skaggs has been under complete control. That big curveball got him back on track in that first inning. He's oozed confidence since then.
And he's pretty much, could say, consistent with his velocity on his fastball. 91, 92. He's early in the game, 93, 94, 95, but very, very consistent with his velocity.
That breaking ball.
And credit Carlos Perez what he has done. And just watching him there, what he was trying to get Tyler Skaggs to do. He puts the curveball sign down, and then he's tapping the ground. He wants him to bounce it. He trusts himself to be able to keep that breaking ball in front of him if Perez would swing and miss. It's done an outstanding job. Fastball away. Tyler hasn't overthrown many fastballs, but that was one of them there. Well, I remember just going through and watching this process for Tyler, watching his bullpen sessions when he was just throwing nothing but fastballs, even back last year towards the end of the season in Cleveland.
Foul tipped into the mitt, 2 down.
And Cole's great play is our top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. Full extension on the dive. The head is still, the eyes on the baseball. looks it in the glove, braces himself, and able to keep that baseball in the glove for Cole Calhoun. Picked up an assist already in the outfield tonight also.
Gordon's 0 for 2. That was just missed in. Halos have Joe Smith getting ready their bullpen beyond the right field fence. Joe was unavailable yesterday, a little tightness in his lower back. Gordon jammed, flips one out to shallow center. Simmons going out there, and he will make the catch. That's almost in right center field.
He is everywhere.
The Skaggs family certainly happy. Tyler's return, 7 strong, up 5-0.
Debut, and so far so good, up 5-0 as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Ken Prince back with you in front of the fountains, getting absolutely drenched here in center field. And don't forget, following this one, it's Angels Live, presented by your SoCal Mods dealers. Myself, Jose Mota, of course, bring you an inside look into Tyler Skaggs' performance tonight. And also, fellas, I want to remind you, tune into the pregame show. I'm going behind the scenes in what the locals call the Water Spectacular. But right now, I'll send it back inside to you guys so I can dry off a little bit.
Looks like he's at Niagara Falls, doesn't he?
Frenchie looks fantastic. He never looked better.
He's in a barrel. He's going over. Why not? Show me what you're made of, Frenchie. Jump in like my old man did back in the 70s.
He might be the only one. We were always warned not to do so.
No, Freddie Patek joined him up there. He promised that if the Royals made the playoffs, he would jump in the fountains. He did.
I thought about it a lot of years, never quite made it out there to do that. We were always warned that you might not be able to make it out of there and look anywhere near where you went into. That water, so refreshing, smells so good.
Yeah. It is the city of fountains. That's why you've got the water feature here in this ballpark. That used to be the main feature in the outfield before they put in seats and all the stuff beyond the berm, as this one's lofted out to shallow left. Escobar going out, and he can't come up with it. Goes off his body. Johnny trying to get into second, and he is in there.
Good hustle there by Giavitello, never slowed down. Tough play for Escobar going back on this one. And he reads that one down, taking that shot, turns on the afterburner, head first slide, gets the hand just in.
18th double of the year for Giavatello.
Going to that back part of the base, a longer tank for Mondesi, unable to get it in there before Johnny got his hand on the base.
So Escobar will bat with a man in scoring position. Udell 4 for 4 tonight. Third 4-hit game of the season. Takes ball 1. He had a 4-hit game against Kansas City back in late April.
Just a .211 career hitter against the Royals for Escobar.
Giavatello takes off, and the throw is there, but Cuthbert late. Interesting with Johnny running 5-0 in the 8th.
Got a big jump and a slow delivery towards the plate. Going to force the infield in for Kansas City.
One count on Udell. Gets away. Johnny thought about coming down, but Salvador just stares at him and wills him to stay at third base. Former teammates. 2-1 count. There it is. And now the smile.
Yeah. Well, that's not unusual for Perez. Loves to play the game of baseball. Always with a smile on his face.
Back up the middle, make it a 5-hit game. 6-0 Angels.
Stayed back on this one well, right back up the middle, a slider. Try to pull that, it's going to be an out. Lines it back up the middle with the infield in, better chances of getting a base hit.
It's his 4th 5-hit game of his career. The other 3 all happened last year. As a member of the Washington Nationals.
When you look at his numbers the last 2 seasons, fantastic on that offensive side.
Cole takes low. So 6-0 here in the 8th. Calhoun 1 for 3. 3 runs batted in. He pulls this one past Hosmer to right. 3 straight hits to open up this inning.
And what a game Cole has had himself at the plate and certainly in the field. Lines that by Hosmer, not an easy thing to do.
$15 hits on the night for the Angels. Child went around on the breaking ball. Trout saw 3 pitches in his first plate appearance against Chris Young. And went down swinging, so he's 1 for 3 tonight.
Got a number of those sliders. Got one first pitch here also. Chris Young, a 3rd-round pick of the Pirates back in 2000 out of Princeton. Got to the big leagues for the first time with the Rangers in 2004. That's a little bit high. 2 balls, 1 strike. He was briefly a Montreal Expo. Got traded from the Pirates to the Expos. It's a Matt Hergis deal. Remember Matt Hergis? This was popped up on the infield. He was a solid reliever himself.
Yeah, infield fly rule called. 1 out. The runners remain at first and second. One down. Here's Albert. 1 for 4 tonight. Yunel Escobar, 5-hit game, stands at second. Cole over at first base. 1-2. 6 runs, 15 hits, 9 left on for the Angels. No runs, 3 hits, an error. 3 left on for Kansas City. Tyler Skaggs done after 7 innings. 7 stellar innings, by the way. Flipped out to right. Eibner comes in. 2 down.
I mean, if you're Mike Scioscia, Charles Nagy, you can't write that up any better than what Tyler Skaggs did tonight. What an outstanding effort.
You know what? We were all teased by it, and obviously you can't control setbacks like Tyler had earlier. But when we saw him in spring training and we saw him with the Freeway Series, is that right?
Yeah.
You're thinking, and he was popping mid-90s at that
Yes.
point. You're thinking, all right, this should be fun.
Yeah, you'd have Richards, Heaney,
Yeah.
Skaggs. That's a young, dominant staff for a lot of years.
But obviously he went through what he went through, the setbacks. Unfortunately, it was nothing more than just setbacks. Worked his way back, and Tyler, just about 2 years removed from his last big league start in Baltimore. Comes to Kansas City and has a fantastic outing.
Again, going back to what Mike Scioscia just said this the other day, everyone's asking about rebuild, rebuild, rebuild. He just says, no, I feel pretty good. And with this effort by Skaggs here, certainly will make you feel a lot better about that. Just adding some pieces for the 2017 season and continue to try to play well and get everyone healthy once again, and then see how good this team could be.
To Calanova, and he rips one out to right, but it's Eibner coming in to make the catch, and the 3rd out is recorded as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Pitching change forthcoming for the Angels. They're on top 6-0.
now. This will be his 36th game, 1-4 mark with an ERA 4.19. Last inning threw the ball very well, very quick. Very good outing for him there. And now it's though what's left in the tank, presented by 76. Speaking of solid bullpen work, Cam Bedrosian, 20 2/3 straight scoreless inning. His father, former Cy Young Award winner Steve Bedrosian, longest streak in his career, 27 innings. So the bullpen rounded into shape of late for Mike Sosa and Charles Nagy.
Paolo Orlando to lead things off for Kansas City. First one's a strike. Orlando 1 for 2 with a ground out and a single. Tyler Skaggs 7 innings, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Total of 88 pitches. It's hit down the left field line, but it is hooking and it goes foul. 0-2. Try to get him to expand that strike zone with that slider.
When you worked ahead of the count, you could afford to do so.
Ground ball towards short. Simmons has it, and they get Orlando by just a step. 1 down. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to AppApp Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for more details.
Yeah, we saw and showed Andrelton Simmons on our opening tonight in our Tools of the Trade, and he has been fantastic again tonight. The range he has coming in on that baseball, but the last inning to finish off how far he had to go on the pop-up.
And more importantly, calling off Yunel Escobar, was looking to cut in front of him. This was hit out toward left center field. Trout got a good jump on it, and he'll make the catch for out number 2.
And Trout's made a couple really good plays out in center field tonight himself. When you're throwing a lot of pitches in the strike zone and working quickly, you're going to have those plays made behind you. Yeah, because that throw for Escobar, by the way, at third base would have been more difficult, especially with Orlando running down the line. You need all that arm strength from Simmons to be able to throw him out. Love the defense here tonight for the Angels.
Mondesi spins around to hit from the left side. 0 for 2. Look at a strike. Ground ball toward first. Albert will take it himself. And a 1-2-3 inning for Joe Smith. We head to the 9th inning. Halos up 6-0.
Now it's time for our Quick Loans Rocket Arms as we look at the starting pitchers that match up tomorrow night. Matt Shoemaker on the mound, 2.39 ERA in his last 12 starts. He's got a lot of run support, only 3 wins at him. Danny Duffy's been very good himself. 5-0 in his last 8 starts, 2.96 ERA. Made that jump back to the rotation after being out of the bullpen beginning part of the season. A power left-handed arm against the split finger fastball of Matt Shoemaker.
Simmons will lead things off. Anderson a swing and a miss on the first breaking ball. Anderson is 0 for 4 on the evening. One ball, one strike. Third inning of relief for Chris Young. This is out to left center field. It's a base hit. First hit of the series for Simmons. Man on for G-Man Choi.
16th hit of the game for the Angels. Boy, Dave Hansen has done a real good job. Paul Sorrento. And their approach and their conversation always, I sit there behind the cage, it's always about using the middle of the field. Let the baseball travel. You can still have that ability to turn on pitches.
One down.
But staying back, setting up pitchers, using that middle of the field, much better chance to get a hit that way. Speaking of swinging the bats very well, Carlos Perez coming to the plate.
3 for 4 with a home run. Takes a strike.
Speaking of back in the 6 and Carl's cam, a replay. Turns on this fastball, barrel to bat. Talked about using the middle field, but when you get a mistake pitch inside, able to open up those hips, barrel to bat, and a long way out for Perez.
And he hits this one out to left field, hit well. Gordon moving back on it, still drifting back on the track at the wall. It's over his head. Ricochets off the fence. Simmons will end up at third base. It's a double for Carlos Perez, and Gordon still on the track and left.
Boy, and Royal fans, anytime you see Gordon go into that wall like that, there's always concern. A baseball that's kept drifting back. 387 sign just past his glove and off the wall. What a game for Carlos Perez. 2 singles, a double, and a home run, and that slam of Alex Gordon against that wall. Shoulder, ribs.
Dave Island to pay a visit. Runners at second and third, and 1 out with Giavotella due up. 17 hits for the Angels tonight. Johnny will look at a strike. 2 for 3. Couple of doubles for Giavotella. 2 runs scored. Infield in, and Giavotella shoots one down the right field line, slicing away from Eibner. No balls, 2 strikes.
0-2. A base hit off the glove of Hosmer into right. Simmons will score. 7-0 Angels.
Well, what a game Giavotella has had, too. Last 3 at-bats. Double, double, single, RBI. And went the other way. His approach was hit the ball hard that way. Stayed back on it well, shortened up his swing, lines it by Hosmer for a base hit RBI.
And Joe's coming out. That's going to be it for Chris Young. At the top of the order coming up. A pitching change in the 9th inning. 1 run in. Halos up by the score of 7-0. Seven-0 Angels, top of the 9th inning with 1 out and runners at first and third base. Kansas City turns the ball over to Jin-Ming Wong, who pitched last night. Finished it off for the Royals. Wong will face Yunel Escobar, who has picked up 5 hits on the night. Wong 31 games, 5-0 record, a 3.73 ERA.
That power sinker, slider, changeup.
Four singles and a double for Escobar. 2 runs scored. Two-0 count. A nice dig by Perez. 3 balls, no strikes. Udell was getting ready to take off the shin guard, but it caught the bottom part of the zone. (3-1) off the plate, and it's a walk. So they're loaded up for Calhoun. Cole's got 2 for 4 tonight. Gregorio Petit is going to pitch run for Yunel Escobar.
great game by Escobar tonight.
Cole lifts one foul. Gordon will give it a look, but it's into the seats. 0-1 count.
Tried to bring that two-seamer back. A miss off the inside corner.
One. Cole fouls it. 1-2. Perez standing at third. Giavatello at second, and Petit, the pinch runner, at first.
The number 1, number 2 hitters for the Angels, number 8 and 9, 14 hits combined for those 4 batters in the lineup tonight. Some damage. Top of the order, bottom of the order.
Most hits they've had since the 22 they racked out against the Boston Red Sox at Fenway. Cole pulls one just wide of the bag, foul. So it stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Shoemaker looking on, pitching tomorrow. Now looking at the guys saying, hey, you guys mind? Seriously? Save some for tomorrow? Tough go for him and run support. Ground ball toward first. Hosmer's got it. He's only placed to first. Run scores. 8-0. Now there are 2 outs with runners at second and third.
It's another RBI though for Cole, giving him 4 in the game. But on the positive side though for Shoemaker tomorrow, as far as the middle part of the order for the Angels, Trout and Pujols, a couple of hits. So they have some hits saved for tomorrow for them.
They got that going for him.
Yep.
Trout will look at a strike. Mike 1 for 4. Dale Esguerra will pitch the bottom of the 9th inning. Top of the order coming up for Kansas City. 1-1. Boy, that fortunately hits the shin guard of Paul Nart, the home plate umpire. Stays near the plate. So it's a 2-1 count.
Sinker gets away and hits Paul Nart, the home plate umpire, right on the shin, and not able to get away far enough for Giavatello to score.
Check swing foul. Evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Punches this one down the line. It's a fair ball toward the corner. 2 runs will come in. Trout is on his way to second. And it's a 2 RBI double for Mike. The Halos lead at 10-0.
What a swing that was for Trout, going the other way on the line. Great swing. Fastball away, stayed back on that well. We talked about the plate coverage he has. He's got that foot down and trying to drive the ball the other way. Compact short swing. Lines it in the right field. 25th double. 3 RBI night for Trout also.
Albert flips one out to center field. That'll bring home another run. 11-0 Angels. Second hit of the night for Albert.
Flying the base hit up the middle once again. Throughout this game, great coverage of the plate, going with the pitch, a lot of success. 20 hits for the Halos tonight. But Albert Pujols 17 RBI in his last 9 games.
Jeffrey Marte will pinch run for Albert and stay at first base. Nava shoots one down the line. That is just foul. 0-1 count. Daniel 1 for 5 tonight. Oh, 1 count on Nava. Missed it. A long top of the 9th inning. The Angels have dropped the 5 spot on Kansas City. Four of these runs charged to Chris Young. Hit by pitch.
Off the leg and off of Perez, it looked like also.
So this 9th inning continues for the Angels with runners at first and second.
Look, it got the forearm of Salvador Perez.
So here's Simmons. Anderson takes low. 1 for 5 tonight. Singled his last time up. This is a base hit to right field, the 21st hit of the night. Marte will be stopped at third.
Second hit of the inning for Simmons.
G-Man Choi will bat with the bases loaded. He did that back in the first and eventually lined out to third baseman Cuthbert. G-Man 0 for 5. Down and away. A 2-0 count. Wong last night threw a total of 20 pitches. He's at 24 tonight. This is back up the middle. It's a base hit. Marte will score. Coming around is Nava. He will score. Simmons hung up between second and third, and they fall asleep and allow him to get into third safely. 12-0 now.
Boy, so often we said throughout this game, back up the middle approach, and another perfect swing back up the middle. G-Man Choi picks up his first hit of this game tonight. Stayed back on that one well, lined the right back up the middle. Boy, remember we said way back at the start of this game as far as go-tos, look to middle. Well, we've seen that a lot from the swings from the Angels hitters tonight.
13 runs, 22 hits. Here's Carlos Perez, 4 for 5. Take low. And he shoots one down the right field line, and this one will slice foul. 1-1 count.
I think Carlos was thinking triple there.
I believe he was.
Yes.
Why not? Might as well now. You get the second opportunity here in the ninth.
That's all he needs for the cycle.
Upstairs. Three and one. Backup catcher Drew Butera loosening down. Angel for a moment.
Certainly has a good sound in that catcher's mitt. For the catcher, throwing to the catcher.
7 runs in here in the ninth inning, 13-0. 3-1. There's ball 4. They're loaded up.
Might see him now.
Here comes Nat Yost, and sure enough, position player pitching time. Chien-Ming Wang ends up throwing 30 pitches, 50 pitches through the first 2 games of this series. He will depart with the bases loaded. We have ourselves a pitching change once again in the ninth. The Angels up 13-0.
Here in the ninth inning, they have him loaded with 2 outs. Johnny Giavitello is coming to the plate. Drew Butera pitching in his 5th career game, 2nd time this season for Kansas City. He pitched on June 25th, retiring 3 of 4 batters. 9th Royals position player to pitch in a game, 12th all times. The first one is outside.
4 strikeouts in 3 2/3.
Well, as a catcher, you'd imagine he'd have a pretty good arm. One would think. Johnny foul tips out.
86. Giavitello has feasted on Royal pitching. His former team so far this year, 8 for 12. Now dealing with a position player pitching.
Last Angels position player to pitch in a game, by the way, Chili Davis in '93. Off speed.
I remember Bill Bacota throwing one time. That's when Dave Winfield completed the cycle.
Was it off Bacota?
Yes.
Doesn't count then. That doesn't count.
Tell Dave Winfield that one.
2-1, and Johnny fouls it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Those that are left are really excited about Drew Butera's appearance in this game. They're on their feet. They want the punch out. 2-2. Full count.
92.
Yeah, he overthrew that one.
Yeah.
Runners will get a head start here with 2 outs. 3-2, ground ball to short. Escobar has it. Goes to second base and called out for the 3rd out. I can't imagine Mike Scioscia's going to even look at that. The Angels drop 7 here in the ninth. They lead at 13-0 as we head to the bottom of the ninth. By the score of 13-0, and the top of the order is coming up for Kansas City. But overall, Gooby, a nice game for the Angels, making 2 in a row if they can make this 13-run lead here in the ninth hold up.
You start with the offense, outstanding, 13 runs, 22 hits. The defense, outstanding. But the big story of this game, the comeback game for Tyler Skaggs. 7 shutout innings of dominance, 3 hits, 1 walk. What an effort by Tyler Skaggs.
Garrett pitching in his 21st game, 2-0 record and an even 3 earned run average. First pitch swinging is Al City's Escobar. He fouls it off. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
No balls, 2 strikes.
That great changeup from Guerrero once again. Same arm angle as his fastball. Differential about 8 to 9 miles per hour from his fastball to his changeup.
Oh, 2 upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kansas City with a total of 3 hits tonight. Joe Smith with a 1-2-3 8th inning. Two balls, 2 strikes. Out to right. Cole moving over. 1 down. Bring up Chesler Cuthbert, the third baseman. By the way, Petit stays in the game at third, Marte at first. No other changes for the Angels. This one's foul back. No balls and a strike. Cuthbert tonight 1 for 3 with a single. This would be the Angels' 5th consecutive win against Kansas City. Off speed, popped up. Marte into foul territory. We'll watch this one go into the seats. 1-2.
A lot of times we'll run that fastball in to set up the hitter with his changeup the very next pitch.
Full count. Most runs the Angels have ever scored in a shutout win over Kansas City's 12. June 14th, 1987. You remember that game?
Well, I would have if I was on the mound.
Over to short. Simmons has it. 2 down.
I was cheerleading very well, though.
Were you?
Yes.
Danny Jackson got the start.
Danny Jackson.
Yeah.
DJ.
Don Sutton picked up the win. 7 innings. There's Hosmer.
Speaking of Hall of Famers, Don Sutton.
Yep. Goes in line with your Gooby Tuesday.
Yes.
Hall of Fame theme. The 1-0. There's that changeup. Evens the count. Hosmer 0 for 3. Tyler Skaggs in line for that first win. His first big league start in almost 2 years. 7 innings, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. 1-2.
Imagine to see a lot of smiles on his face when one gets a chance to talk to him after the game. Certainly his family in attendance today. Got to be extremely excited.
Off the toe. .22 hits, 13 runs for the Angels, and they stranded 14
At one point, they were 0 for 5 with men in scoring position.
That changed quite a bit as the game progressed.
Here's the 1-2. Keep that at bat alive. Puts that off-speed pitch. Win tonight moves the Angels to 45 and 55 on the season, or 44 and 44 if you remove the 1-11 against the Houston Astros.
Yeah, can't they move back to the National League Central again?
Reaching for this one out to shallow center. Simmons going out. Trout coming in. Trout with a call. Light that baby up as the Angels shut out the Royals 13-0 tonight.
What an impressive all-around victory. What a game by Carlos Perez. Not only at the plate, but what he did behind the plate, calling an outstanding game for Tyler Skaggs. Big smiles all around. A lot of swings, perfect swings, 22 hits, 13 runs. But the big story, Tyler Skaggs picks up his first victory in nearly 2 years to the day when he went back out on the mound, where he had a great outing going against Baltimore before having Tommy John surgery.
A little over 3 hours. A lot of it happening in the top of the ninth because this game was sailing along with the way Skaggs was pitching. The Angels taking a comfortable lead into that ninth, 6-0, but then they ended up scoring 7 times as Tyler Skaggs comes back and has a masterful performance in his 2016 debut. Mom, stepdad, girlfriend all in attendance here. Ken French did a nice job of talking to Mom and obviously getting her excitement, and you could just tell that a lot of nervous butterflies in everyone's stomachs and watching Tyler out of the mound today, but he looked fantastic. Ran into Alcides Escobar, a 4-pitch walk to start the game, but that curveball settled him down. 2 strikeouts in that first, and then he went on cruise control. But overall, Escobar with a big game. Carlos Perez with a big game, including a home run. He called that game for Tyler Skaggs. He's with Jose Mota.
Thanks, Victor. You had a chance to catch Tyler Skaggs in AAA. You were one of the guys that said he's ready. Did you see him as ready as you saw him in AAA?
Yeah, I saw today he's ready, and I'm really happy to call ahead today, and he got a pretty good day today.
Well, you saw that he brought into the game. He said he's going to be a little bit nervous. When did you see him really settle down?
Yeah, the first batting on the game was a little bit nervous, but after that was he focused and throw the ball well.
Now that you see him on the mound at the big league level, today, what was a key for him in allowing himself to go out there and compete and throw quality pitches?
I think was attacking the hitter with the fastball. You know, he attacked the hitter with the fastball, set up the breaking ball. He threw, he attacking it. The big key was the first pitch for strike.
And for you, what you brought from AAA, went down there and worked on your offensive side. What is going to be important here for the rest of the season?
Stay there, like be aggressive in the home plate, trying to get a good pitch to hit and use all the field.
Thank you, Carlos. Big win, man.
Thank you.
Carlos Perez and the Angels once again get it done here against Kansas City. Angels live after this as Ken French joins me, all presented by your SoCal Mazda dealer.